This is Michael Carson back with another video. This issue is of non-English speaking people taking jobs in America that they're using the visa program to get regular jobs. Like this guy was a truck driver, a big rig 18-wheeler driver. He had no business. He couldn't even speak English. There's a video of him and he can't even speak English. I'm going to go over the article and then I'm going to go over the company or the NGO or whatever's actually bringing in these workers into America. But the problem is not just related to America. It's in America, it's in Europe, it's in the United Kingdom. So this issue should be front and center for people, but people don't even realize. And why is Elon on the thumbnail? Well, he considers anybody that doesn't like the visa program bringing in the foreign-born workers as hateful, unrepentant racists. That's why that's on there. And so I will go over his tweets after I read the article, which is from Zero Hedge, called The Advocacy Group Calls for U.S. Probe on Non-English Speaking Migrant Truck Drivers After Deadly Austin Crash. There is a video of the driver talking to another guy, and he can't even speak English. I'm going to upload that separately so you can watch it. So if it gets restricted, that'll get restricted. But there's a bunch of F-bombs in that. So it would get restricted in a heartbeat the way it is. It's ridiculous. So let me go ahead and start reading the article. Local police in Austin, Texas have arrested a truck driver, Solomon Wizkill, RA 37, in connection with a horrific 19-vehicle crash that left people dead and 12 injured. The incident highlights rising concerns over America's highways flooded with potentially unqualified migrant truck drivers. According to a reliable source, Solomon, an 18-wheeler truck driver who was arrested and is facing intoxication charges. Let me go to the full tweet. The guy, an 18-wheeler driver who was arrested, is facing intoxication charges after North Austin crash that claimed 5 lives. Was a contract driver on a work visa. He was transporting items from an out-of-state warehouse. He is not a Texas resident, and his CDL was not issued by Texas. According to the source, the guy comes from a sanctuary state that granted asylum to individuals who illegally provided him with a provision visa through work status. DUI by means of sleep deprivation is what's listed until the toxicology report comes back. I've submitted multiple FOIA requests to the PD, Department of Transportation, and I've also sent a request for information to ZBN Transport. And here's the picture of the guy. There he is. Let's go back to the article, because that was the tweet. According to the affidavit obtained by KVUE, one witness described the guy's 18-wheeler plowing into stopped traffic along a stretch of highway in North America. The person said as if the truck driver forgot to brake. Police said the guy is behind bars at Travis County Jail. Austin Travis County EMS wrote on X at the time the horrific crash on Thursday night had several people were pinned in their vehicles following a collision involving multiple vehicles and a semi-truck. 9 patients, 3 adults, 1 child, 1 infant, were pronounced dead at the scene. So there you go. He killed 5 people right off the top. And 2 were kids. So good job bringing these clowns in. Good job. And then here's another tweet that has the details from the EMS. Final vehicle rescue in North Highway 35, 17 patients and 17 vehicles involved. 5 patients, 3 adults, 1 child, 1 infant, have been pronounced deceased at the scene. The EMS transported 11 patients, 2 adults, to St. David's, Round Rock, with life-threatening injuries. So there might be more as things go along. According to KVUE, state police stated that the driver showed signs of intoxication following the crash despite preliminary breathalyzer tests showing a blood alcohol level concentration of 0. However, the guy displayed all 6 signs of intoxication and failed a field sobriety test. Authorities raised concerns that he may have ingested depressants before the incident. According to the advocacy group American Truckers United, a critical detail about the crash, which reposted a video from the incident scene, is that the driver barely spoke English. And there's this tweet here, which I have loaded in another tab. Then there's a video in the tweet that I'm not going to play because it's the F-bomb, so I'll try to upload that separately later on. Okay, it says ATU has confirmed the driver behind today's horrific Austin, Texas crash, killing 5, injuring 11, barely spoke English. Experts say he was almost certainly a non-domicile CDL, meaning he didn't have, a valid CDL technically in the U.S. He had an outside one. Special interest groups have flooded our roads with unvetted, unqualified, untrained drivers endangering us all. Demand an immediate investigation into the driver's licensing, vetting, and training, or the lack thereof. Most critically, launch a national probe into the entities allowing illiterate, ill-trained operators into the highways. Restore safety, security, integrity to our roads. Act now before lives are lost. This video I'm not going to play, but I will play another one. So let me go ahead and go back to the thing. And there's pictures of the crash. My videos have been flagged already, so I'm not going to show the pictures, but you can see them. You can go to American Truckers on Twitter and look at them. So for YouTube, I'm not going to show them. Experts say he was almost certainly a non-domicile. Yeah, I already read that. That was from the prior tweet. And that's the video from the, the driver. Well, there's another guy talking to him. You'll watch the video either on the Bumbly Rumbly or in another YouTube video by itself. So if that gets flagged, you can watch that. This I will attach to the end of the episode, the article, after I read this and the CDL for refugees thing. And here's another tweet from the American Truckers where they're comparing an older accident to the current one and how both drivers were, foreign born, couldn't speak English, couldn't read English, couldn't understand, and they caused major accidents. And then here's the video I want to show you about English checks being started.
Going through Arkansas, I thought it was a joke. Got stopped at the way station in Arkansas and was handed a piece of paper and it says, "Can you read and write English?" I said, "Yes sir, I sure can." He goes, "Can you read this?" So I read it to myself and I was like, okay. I started handing it back. He goes, no, read it out loud for me. So I read it out loud for him and it's short and sweet, no problem. He goes, "Now can you write this for me on this paper?" And I did, and there was a whole bunch of people that had already written on it. And I was actually witnessing people in handcuffs that had been pulled in And I was like, what's going on? And he goes, oh, we've come across now that if you cannot read or write in English, that it's a $5,000 fine. And if you have a company in Arkansas that employs people that can't read or write in English, it's a $10,000 fine paid on the spot. If you cannot pay it, you're automatically arrested and lose your license. What a shocker.
The last little tidbit I want to read you is the notes about the CFR for what the CDL drivers are supposed to be able to do. According to federal law, commercial driver's license holders must be able to speak and understand English. 49 CFR 391.22b2 states that a CDL driver must be able to speak and read English and understand highway traffic signs and signals in English. So yeah, they get to go to jail. I forgot a last little bit here. American Truckers is entirely correct. Launch a national probe into entities allowing illiterate, ill-trained operators on our highways. Well, I'm sure the U.S. is not the only country with this problem. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go over the tweets now, and this is where Musk comes into play. Musk was attacking back in end of December when there was a H-1B visa problem, which, that's bringing in the foreign workers. It's actually H-1A and H-1B, and there's also H-2A and B, so there's actually four different visa types. And Musk started, yes, all those contemptible fools must be removed from the Republican Party root and stem. That was his first comment to the thread that was going on. Then his next comment was, the contemptible fools I'm referring to are those in the Republican Party who are hateful, unrepentant racists. They will absolutely be the downfall of the Republican Party if they are not removed. And then he stated after that, the reason I'm in America along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong is because of H-1B. Well, there's H-1B, there's H-1A, there's H-2A, and there's H-2B. And he's saying, take a big step back and go F yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue and the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. And, he joined the Republican Party very quickly. And here's one of the people that he banned temporarily. She was unbanned, but a lot of people were not unbanned. And I'll play you a clip from Sam Hyde after this. Elon Musk has been a Republican for 5 minutes, and now he wants to decide who can be a Republican. Elon, you said you are a free speech absolutist. If you are, let's please let all ideas flourish, and we will let the best ideas win. Let's embrace free speech absolutism. Well, he claimed to be that, but he wasn't. And this stuff is from December 27, 2024. You can go find it. And he banned people. And you will see Sam Hyde actually made a video. A comedian made a video, and he made Rational Thought. I'm going to play a clip of that, and you'll see that. There's also Carl Benjamin. I'm not going to play his video, but I will link to it. His video actually references the Sam Hyde video. And he shows the accounts that were wiped out when they complained about, their kid couldn't even get a job and they graduated with honors and all that stuff. So Musk didn't care. He banned him. And a lot of people he did not unban. So he is not a free speech absolutist. Keep that in mind. And so you'll have the Sam Hyde video, and then you'll have that CDL trucking video. But the last thing I want to go over is the Global Impact Initiative, the CDL training for refugees.
You want America to fail for your own personal gain. What is Elon, what are you talking about? How does anybody personally gain from this? The only gain happening is in stock prices of tech companies. That's the gain. That's where the gain is. Cui bono. That's who stands to benefit from this arrangement. This tweet, it's not first principles thinking. It's not in good faith dialogue. This is a dishonest mischaracterization. Nobody's calling you a liar. People say things in the heat of the moment that are dishonest, though. This is a dishonest mischaracterization of the tens of thousands of people who are blowing up your website. This is not an own on Elon. This is not dunking on Elon. I know that you can bring the ban hammer down, and I know that you are going to be tempted to do so, that you already have with the Groypers, which, by the way, you have to undo that, man. You blanket banned people, not for saying not for posting swastikas, but for stating their opinion on this H-1B issue. That is a complete violation of the trust that the people you wanted to like you placed in you when you said that you're for free speech. It's straight George W. Bush, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. That's what this is. You're either agreeing with me or you're fucking an enemy. You're an enemy. It's not an argument. It's not a well-reasoned position. It's just my way or the highway. Is that what free speech is? Is that who you are? You can just be a celebrity. You can be like Ellen DeGeneres.
In the next 8 years, Texas will be short about 160,000 CDL truck drivers. It's an ever-growing problem and one that an area nonprofits are trying to address while also tackling another problem. Global Impact Initiative focuses on educational and workforce development for refugees. Last fall, they began offering English as a second language translation services for refugees interested in taking the CDL exam. Since then, the nonprofit has expanded to offer an online CDL prep course that incorporates ESL instruction.
We've worked with hundreds of families that are struggling in different areas. Language proficiency is obviously one of the main areas of concern for a lot of people. If you don't have the English proficiency, getting some of these higher paid positions throughout the region is difficult. And that's especially goes hand in hand with CDLs.
In Texas, the CDL knowledge exam is only offered in Spanish and English. The need for English proficiency is critical within the industry. And taking a closer look at just how much the state relies on truckers, according to the Comptroller's Office, 82% of Texas communities exclusively depend on trucks for needed services. There are almost 200,000 commercial truck drivers in the state.
But the last thing I want to go over is the Global Impact Initiative, the CDL training for refugees. I'm going to go over that here. The CDL training for refugees Global Impact Initiative has developed relationships with 250 Austin-based refugee families from Afghanistan, Iraq, and Ukraine with the aim of facilitating their incorporation into the local community. More than 60% of adults have little or no ability to speak English, and over 80% are not sufficiently fluent to qualify for their jobs or training for positions that pay a living wage. Although many come with job skills from their home country, they do not hold certifications allowing them to work in Austin in such a high-demand occupations as commercial truck driving or healthcare. To address these major issues, GII is launching a two-pronged program that equips refugees with English and commercial truck driving credentials they need to obtain gainful employment. With the credentials and a good job, they can lead independent, fulfilling lives and become contributing members of their community. GII will partner with the House of Tutors Institute, which has 40-plus years of experience teaching English as a second language to international students from over 36 countries. Let me go over the whole program components here. Program components: English as a second language. The ESL program envisioned by GII will utilize the HOFT Institute's campus of more than 11,000 square feet of classrooms, lecture halls, tutoring rooms, library, computer lab, student commons, and offices. The ESL program is created by the Accrediting Council for Continuing Education and Training, ACCET, and approved by SEVIS, the U.S. Government Student Exchange Visitor Information System. The HOFT Institute Education is open to 6 days a week and hosts several social, cultural events with many opportunities for students to meet and get to know native English-speaking students. The Institute's operational standards include thoughtfully crafting instructional design, a premium level of service and care, and a range of services and programs on-site and online accessible to every student. Both individual tutoring and long-term mentoring are fundamental of the HOFT academic mission. The campus, the services, the programs are geared to work together as well as independently to assist students to effectively meet their goals. Features of the proposed intensive ESL program component for refugees with little or no English skills include 2 12-week, 3-month sessions, 23 hours of instruction per week for the duration of each session, instruction emphasizing reading, speaking, and preparation for CDL knowledge tests, classes Monday through Fridays from 6:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and 12 to 4 p.m. on the weekends. Optimally 6 to 10 students per class. Language practice with American conversation partners 5 hours a week. Note students already have lower intermediate level of English should be able to prepare for CDL course after a single 12-week session, while those starting without initial English fundamentals are expected to need 2 full sessions to reach the point where they can take the CDL training course. In addition, students will receive continuous support from the GII team throughout the duration of this program by providing ongoing mentoring and conversation to reduce anxiety and improve language skills. Entry-level driver training theory. The ESL component of the program will serve as a precursor to GII's commercial driver's license training. Together, these 2 programs will equip students with the necessary language skills and knowledge to obtain a CDL permit. Per recent trends documented by the American Trucking Association, the current truck driver shortage in America is estimated to be 78,000 drivers, and the truck driving industry could need more than 160,000 drivers by 2030. There's the 2030 agenda again. They want to replace Americans like they want to replace Britons. Remember that. Because if you think Trump is going to help you, Britain, he's probably not going to do it for a while. That's why many of us are trying on the internet to get attention for you guys so that you get help sooner rather than later. So British Hitler can be stopped. Many refugees have large vehicles driving experience working for the U.S. government in their home country, primarily driving Humvees and ambulances, but not big rigs. Focusing on this experienced, partially skilled group and understanding the critical demand for these skills within the trucking industry in the United States, GII is seeking financing assistance to refugees to obtain their CDL. GII already experiencing success assisting refugees in Austin and preparing for the state-level CDL knowledge exam by incorporating several success factors, including 1. Supplemental programming that provides additional tutoring, mentoring, quizzes, and translation support to help build confidence, reduce anxiety, and help refugees prepare for CDL testing requirements. 2. Overcoming challenges that exam pose to non-native speakers. 3. Provide additional mentoring and practice training specific to U.S. cultural norms. Provide additional mentorship and practice training specific to U.S. cultural norms. That doesn't really help if they're driving a million miles like that guy was. You'll see that on the video if you haven't watched it yet. 4. Supplying refugees with computers and practice tests. To date, 100% of the individuals who have been provided the additional support have passed the CDL exam. Building on this success, GII is seeking a partnership financial assistance to expand the candidate pool and scope of the program to include completion of all requirements for obtaining a CDL and secure employment as a commercial truck driver. Two-part program. The first phase of the CDL training provides refugees with online course, ancillary support, and resources to complete the Federal Motor Carriage Safety Administration mandated entry-level training theory requirement. GII attained FMS or FMCSA approval to serve as an online ELDT-theory provider and is developing a course that meets FMCA curriculum requirements. The course will be fully online. Fail. 2. Meet FMCSA ELDT curriculum requirements. Cover 5 driving and non-driving topics. Fulfill FMCSA requirements for state-level skill test. Upgrade English proficiency to required levels. 6. Prepare trainee for state knowledge exam. Prepare trainees for state knowledge exam. 7. Coach the student on English assessment test upon registration. The second phase of the training assists refugees in completing all requirements for obtaining a CDL in Texas. Completing both phases of CDL training is an estimate to take 2 to 3 months once candidates are screened and identified. All training candidates are authorized for work study in the U.S. With full program completion, candidates would fulfill the following requirements. 1. Complete FMCSA approved ELDT theory curriculum GII online course. 2. Submit a completed medical examination report and medical examiner certificate form. 3. Pass evasion test. 4. Pass state knowledge exams required and issuance of commercial learner's permit. 5. Obtain required behind-the-wheel training from an approved provider. 6. Schedule and complete CDL road skills and pre-trip inspection exams. Completing the ESL program component and obtaining a CDL would provide refugees considerable employment opportunities and economic stability. This would also help address critical shortage of licensed commercial truck drivers within the industry. Well, that's the thing. They're not paying very much money for that. That's why, American has to pay for the schooling to get the CDL. These guys clearly don't have to pay for it. The GII programs such as this one can be blueprints for other programs. We develop our initiative with an eye to their expandability. We want our development efforts to pay dividends beyond GII. This program can be expanded to include other locations in Texas and beyond, and serve as a model for launching similar programs in other states with large numbers of recently resettled refugees from Afghanistan, newly arriving Ukrainian refugees, and refugees from other countries. See, there's the sticker at the end. Other countries, that's what they cared about. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider watching another one. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider watching one of my other videos, and have a good day.